Ladies and gentlemen, when we wake up in the morning, most of us do so with the quiet assumption that tomorrow will come. We plan, we schedule, we rush through our days, as though life is an endless series of tomorrows just waiting to unfold. But the truth, the raw, unfiltered truth, is that tomorrow is never promised. And if that's the case, what happens to today? How much of it slips through our fingers unnoticed because our minds are caught up in the what-ifs of the future or the regrets of the past? Living like it's your last day doesn't mean throwing everything away or abandoning your responsibilities. It means stripping away the noise, the distractions, and the unnecessary so you can focus on what's right here, right now. It's about seeing the world with fresh eyes every single day, as if you're waking up to life for the first time. That feeling, that clarity, it's what allows us to experience life fully. Think about it. When was the last time you paused and noticed the sunlight spilling through a window? Or really listened to the sound of laughter, not as background noise, but as something vibrant and alive? When was the last time you felt gratitude for the ordinary, the things so often overlooked? We are constantly in motion, always looking ahead or glancing behind, but rarely do we stop and immerse ourselves in the moment we're living. Time is our most precious resource, yet how many of us spend it as if it were infinite? Imagine you have a bank account where every morning you're deposited with 86,400 seconds, but there's a catch. Whatever you don't spend wisely by the end of the day vanishes. It's gone forever. Would you let those seconds slip away, wasted on things that don't matter, or would you use them deliberately, savoring every moment? The truth is, we're all living that reality. Every second, every breath is an irreplaceable gift. It's not that we need more time. It's that we need to use the time we have more meaningfully. Being present means letting go of the mental clutter that keeps us from truly living. It means recognizing that the most important moment in your life is not in some distant future, but right here, right now. And it's not just about savoring the beautiful moments. It's about being present even in the messy, imperfect ones. Life isn't a highlight reel. It's a series of real, raw, and often unpolished experiences. When you're fully present, you embrace all of it. You find joy in the laughter, but also wisdom in the tears. You connect deeply with others, not because you're waiting for the perfect moment, but because you know this moment is enough. There is a kind of freedom that comes with embracing the present. It's a freedom from worry, from regret, from the endless cycle of what-ifs and if-onlys. It's the freedom to fully engage with life as it unfolds. When you're present, you stop chasing happiness like it's some far-off destination. You realize it's right here, waiting for you to notice it. And when you live like today is your last day, something extraordinary happens. Every conversation becomes richer, every experience more profound. You stop postponing joy. You stop waiting for a better time, a better place, or a better version of yourself. You realize that life is not about perfect moments. It's about making the moments you have perfect. It's easy to get lost in the whirlwind of modern life. There's always another deadline, another goal, another worry tugging at your attention. But if you let those things dominate your thoughts, you risk missing the beauty of what's right in front of you. And if you knew this was your last day, would you still let those distractions hold you back? Or would you embrace the moment with everything you have? The truth is, we don't have to wait for a wake-up call. We don't need a crisis or a countdown to remind us to live. We have the choice every single day to show up fully, to notice the world around us, and to savor the miracle of being alive. It's not about living recklessly. It's about living deliberately. It's about choosing, moment by moment, to give your time and attention to what truly matters. So ask yourself, if today was your last day, how would you live it? And more importantly, why aren't you living that way already? Every single one of us is given a finite amount of time, and within that time, the choices we make define the life we live. But here's the thing, not all choices are created equal. Some are trivial. What to eat, what to wear, what route to take to work. They come and go, leaving little trace. But others, the ones that stem from what we value most, have the power to shape our existence. They're the choices that echo. The challenge is in the hustle and noise of life. It's easy to lose sight of what really matters. We get swept up in things that demand our attention, but don't deserve it. We chase goals that aren't truly ours, follow paths laid out by others, and end up spending our precious time and energy on things that leave us feeling empty. And when we do, we wake up one day wondering where it all went and why it doesn't feel like enough. Living like it's your last day forces you to ask yourself the tough questions. What do I truly value? What lights me up, fills me with purpose, and brings me peace? Who are the people? What are the passions? And where are the places that make me feel alive? These are the things that deserve our time. These are the things that make a day, a life, meaningful. When you strip away all the noise, the distractions, the unnecessary, what's left? That's where you find clarity. That's where you discover what truly matters, and once you know what matters, everything else becomes easier. Decision-making is no longer a burden. You say no to what doesn't align with your values, not because it's hard, but because it's obvious. You stop chasing things that don't matter, and you pour your energy into the things that do. Let's talk about the word priority for a moment. It comes from the Latin root meaning first, or before others. For centuries, it existed only in the singular form. You could have one priority, one. It wasn't until modern times that we decided we could somehow have multiple priorities, that we could do everything and value everything equally. But we can't. Living like it's your last day means choosing what deserves to be first and letting the rest fall away. When you focus on what matters most, something incredible happens. Your days feel fuller, not because you're doing more, but because you're doing the right things. It's not about how many hours you work or how many tasks you check off a list. It's about knowing that the time you spent mattered. It's about knowing that the effort you gave was aligned with your values, your purpose, your heart. Think about the things that consume your attention every day. How much of it is spent on things you'll remember a year from now, 5 years from now, at the end of your life? If today were your last day, would you be satisfied with how you spent it? Would you look back and feel like you honored what truly matters to you? Or would you see a blur of distractions and obligations that didn't bring you joy? And let me tell you, this isn't about being perfect. It's not about getting it right every single time. It's about awareness. It's about making an effort to align your actions with your values, even when life gets messy. It's about recognizing that every day is a chance to recalibrate, to refocus, to choose again. People often ask, what's the secret to a meaningful life? The truth is, there's no secret. It's simple, but not always easy. Know what you value and live according to those values. Make your choices from a place of purpose, not from a place of fear or obligation. Spend time with the people who matter most. Do work that matters and let go of everything else. When you live this way, you don't need to wait for your last day to feel a sense of peace and fulfillment. You carry it with you every single day, and when the end does come, whether it's tomorrow, next year, or decades from now, you'll look back and know that you lived a life that truly mattered. Gratitude. It's such a simple word, but it holds extraordinary power. Yet for most of us, it's something we forget about in the rush of our daily lives. We move through our routines, fixating on what's next, on what's missing, on what's not quite right. And in doing so, we overlook what's already here, what's already good, what's already enough. Imagine waking up one morning and realizing you've taken something as fundamental as the air in your lungs or the beating of your heart for granted. These are gifts freely given that sustain us every moment of our lives, but we rarely stop to notice them. And what about the people around us, the ones we love, the ones who make our days brighter? How often do we pause to appreciate them, to say, I'm so grateful you're here. Living like it's your last day means breaking out of that autopilot. It means slowing down long enough to truly see what's around you and recognize its value. Gratitude isn't about denying life's challenges or pretending everything is perfect. It's about acknowledging the good even in the midst of difficulty. It's about finding beauty in the ordinary and meaning in the small moments that make up our lives. Think about the last time you felt genuinely grateful for something. Maybe it was a quiet moment of peace in an otherwise hectic day. Maybe it was a kind word from a friend or the way the sunset painted the sky in shades of gold and orange. Those moments have a way of grounding us, of pulling us back to what really matters, and yet, how often do we let them slip by unnoticed? Gratitude is a choice. It's not something that just happens when life is going well. It's something we cultivate, something we practice even on the hard days, especially on the hard days, because when you make gratitude a habit, it changes how you see the world. It shifts your focus from what you lack to what you have, from what's wrong to what's right. And here's the thing, gratitude isn't just about making you feel good in the moment. It's a perspective that transforms how you live. When you're grateful, you stop taking things for granted. You appreciate the little things, the smell of coffee in the morning, the laughter of a child, the way a loved one's face lights up when they see you. These aren't insignificant details. They're the threads that weave the fabric of your life. Gratitude also deepens your connections with others. When you express your appreciation, it strengthens your relationships. It reminds the people around you that they matter, that their presence in your life is valued. And in turn, it reminds you of the same. Gratitude has a way of creating a ripple effect, spreading positivity and strengthening bonds, but it goes beyond that. Gratitude changes how you face challenges. It doesn't erase pain or difficulty, but it gives you a foundation to stand on when life feels overwhelming. It reminds you of your resilience, of the support around you, of the moments of light, even in the darkest times. Now, let's get practical. How do you bring more gratitude into your life? It starts with awareness. You can't be grateful for what you don't notice. So, start noticing. At the end of each day, take a moment to reflect. Ask yourself, what am I grateful for today? It doesn't have to be something big. Sometimes the smallest things, like a warm bed, a kind smile, or a good meal, are the ones that matter most. And don't just think it, say it. Write it down, tell someone, express it. Gratitude, when shared, becomes even more powerful. It's not just about feeling thankful, it's about showing it. It's about living in a way that reflects your appreciation for the life you've been given. If today were your last day, what would you be grateful for? Would it be the opportunities you had, the people you loved, the experiences you cherished? And here's the real question. Why wait until it's your last day to recognize those things? Why not start now? Gratitude doesn't require perfection. It doesn't ask you to have all the answers or fix all the problems. It simply asks you to notice, to pay attention to what's good, and to hold on to it, even as life moves forward. And when you live with gratitude, every day becomes richer, more vibrant, more meaningful. So if you were to leave this world tomorrow, what would you want to have appreciated today? And if you know the answer, what's stopping you from appreciating it right now? Courage and authenticity. Two words that can transform the way you live, yet they're often buried under fear and expectation. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of stepping outside the lines. Expectations from society, from family, from yourself, telling you who you should be, how you should act, what you should want. And slowly, almost imperceptibly, you begin to live a life that doesn't feel entirely like your own. But if today were your last day, would you still let those fears and expectations define you? Would you keep holding back? Or would you finally find the courage to live authentically, to live as yourself, for yourself? Authenticity isn't just a buzzword. It's about being true to who you are, even when the world around you pushes you to conform. It's about listening to that inner voice that knows your dreams, your passions, your values, and having the courage to follow it, even when it's hard. And it will be hard, because being authentic means standing out. It means taking risks. It means being vulnerable. Courage isn't the absence of fear. It's feeling the fear and moving forward anyway. It's speaking up when it's easier to stay silent. It's choosing to take the path that feels right for you, even when it's uncertain, even when it's unconventional. Courage isn't a one-time decision. It's a daily practice. It's a commitment to yourself and to the life you want to live. Think about the times in your life when you've held back. Maybe you didn't pursue a passion because you were afraid it wouldn't work out. Maybe you didn't share how you felt with someone because you feared rejection. Maybe you stayed in a situation that didn't feel right because stepping away felt too risky. Those moments of hesitation, how much of your life have they shaped? Now imagine if you had chosen differently. Imagine if instead of hesitating, you had acted with courage. What could have been different? What opportunities might you have seized? What relationships might you have deepened? What experiences might you have had? The truth is, living authentically requires courage because it's not always the easiest path. It means making choices that align with your values, even when they are unpopular. It means embracing your unique quirks and imperfections, even when they make you stand out. It means being honest with yourself and others, even when it feels uncomfortable. But the reward for that courage is freedom. The freedom to live without regret, to look back and know you were true to yourself. Freedom to wake up every day and feel at peace with who you are and the life you're creating. That kind of freedom, it's worth the discomfort, the uncertainty, the risk. Being authentic doesn't mean you have to be perfect. It doesn't mean you won't make mistakes or have doubts. It means being real. It means showing up as yourself, not the version of yourself you think the world wants to see. And the incredible thing is, when you do that, you give others permission to do the same. Courage and authenticity are contagious. If you live like today is your last day, you don't have time to pretend. You don't have time to be anyone but yourself. You don't have time to waste on things that don't feel true to who you are. That's the gift of this mindset. It forces you to cut through the noise and focus on what matters. It forces you to ask yourself, what do I want? Who do I want to be? What kind of life do I want to live? And then it challenges you to act on those answers. Not tomorrow, not someday, but now. Because now is the only time you have. When you choose courage, when you choose authenticity, you're choosing to live fully. You're choosing to embrace the messiness, the uncertainty, the beauty of being human. You're choosing to show up, flaws and all, and say, this is me, this is my life. And there's nothing more powerful than that. Life is measured not by the number of days we live, but by the depth of the connections we make along the way. Relationships are at the core of our existence, yet how often do we truly nurture them? How often do we let a moment pass without telling someone we love them, without sharing how much they mean to us, without being fully present with the people who matter most? If today were your last day, would the people you care about know it? Would they know without a shadow of a doubt what they meant to you? Or would there be words left unsaid, gestures left undone, time spent elsewhere? The truth is, we often assume we have more time. We assume there will be another chance to fix things, to say the words that matter, to spend time together. But what if there isn't? What if this is the moment that counts, the only moment we're guaranteed? Living like it's your last day doesn't mean abandoning everything else in your life. It means prioritizing the people who matter, being intentional about how you spend your time with them, and never taking those connections for granted. It means recognizing that relationships aren't just something we have, they're something we build, something we invest in. Think about the people who have shaped your life, the ones who have stood by you, celebrated your wins, and held you through your losses. The ones who make you laugh, who challenge you, who inspire you to be better. Those connections are the foundation of your life, the threads that weave your story. And yet, how often do we let the busyness of life pull us away from them? How often do we prioritize tasks and distractions over the people we love? It's easy to let the small stuff get in the way. A disagreement turns into silence. A busy schedule leads to another missed call. Days turn into weeks, and suddenly the distance feels too big to bridge. But here's the thing, no argument, no to-do list, no moment of pride is worth more than the relationships that give our lives meaning. If today were your last day, none of that would matter. What would matter is the love you gave, the time you shared, the connections you nurtured. Love isn't just a feeling, it's an action. It's choosing to show up for the people who matter, even when it's inconvenient. It's choosing to forgive, to listen, to give without expecting anything in return. Love is in the little things, the way you greet someone with a smile, the way you make time for a friend, the way you say, "I'm here for you." These small acts, repeated daily, are what build strong, lasting relationships. But love also requires vulnerability. It requires opening yourself up, being honest about how you feel, and letting others see you for who you really are. That kind of openness can be scary, but it's also what creates real connection. It's what turns acquaintances into friends, friends into family. And here's something we don't talk about enough. Expressing love isn't just for the other person. It's for you too. When you tell someone how much they mean to you, it strengthens the bond between you. It reminds you of the joy and gratitude you feel for having them in your life. It deepens your own sense of purpose and fulfillment. So why do we hold back? Why do we wait for the right moment to say the things that matter? There's no guarantee that moment will come. If today were your last day, wouldn't you want to leave this world knowing that the people you love knew it? That you said the words, gave the hugs, shared the time, living with this mind. That doesn't mean dwelling on what you might lose. It means cherishing what you have right now. It means showing up fully in your relationships, not because you have to, but because you want to. Because you recognize that love, connection, and belonging are the greatest gifts of being human. Time is the one resource we can never get back. We can earn more money, learn new skills, and rebuild what's broken, but time is relentless. It moves forward without pause, without pity. And yet it's the resource we're most careless with. We squander it on things that don't matter, postpone what does, and assume there will always be more of it. But if today were your last day, how would that change? How would you choose to spend the time you have left? The truth is, the way we spend our time reveals what we truly value. It's easy to say family comes first, or my dreams matter, but do our actions reflect those words? Do the hours in our days align with the priorities in our hearts? For many of us, there's a disconnect. We fill our schedules with tasks and obligations that leave little room for the things that bring us joy, meaning, and fulfillment. Living like it's your last day forces you to confront this imbalance. It challenges you to think differently about time, not as something to fill, but as something to cherish. Imagine if every hour you had left were a precious gift. How would you unwrap it? What would you do with it? Who would you spend it with? It's not about squeezing more into your day. It's about choosing better. It's about being deliberate, intentional, mindful. When you start to see time for what it really is, finite, fleeting, you stop wasting it on the trivial and start investing it in the meaningful. You stop saying, I'll do that someday, because you realize that someday may never come. The key is learning to say no, not just to the things that drain your energy, but to the things that don't align with your values. Every time you say yes to something, you're saying no to something else. When you choose to spend your time one way, you're choosing not to spend it another, and that choice matters. Think about the moments in your life that have meant the most to you. Were they spent scrolling through your phone or stuck in another pointless meeting? Or were they spent in the company of loved ones, pursuing a passion, or simply sitting quietly, feeling grateful for the world around you? Those moments weren't about how much time you had. They were about how you used it. We live in a world that values busyness. We wear it like a badge of honor, as if being busy means being important. But busyness isn't the same as productivity, and it's certainly not the same as fulfillment. Living like it's your last day means letting go of the need to be busy for the sake of being busy. It means focusing on what truly matters, even if that means doing less. When you make time for the things that matter, you create a life that feels full, not because it's packed with activities, but because it's rich with meaning. You give yourself the space to connect, to create, to rest, to grow. You start to see time not as an enemy, but as a companion, something to be cherished, not fought against. And here's the irony. When you live this way, you often find that you have more time, not less. More time for the things that bring you joy. More time for the people who matter. More time for the experiences that make you feel alive, because you're no longer wasting it on the things that don't. But it's not just about how you spend your time. It's about how you experience it. Are you fully present in the moments that matter, or are you distracted, rushing, thinking about what's next? If today were your last day, would you savor each moment, or would you let it slip by unnoticed? Presence is a skill, one that takes practice. It's about being where you are, not just physically, but mentally and emotionally. It's about giving your full attention to the person in front of you, the task at hand, the beauty of the moment. It's about living in a way that at the end of the day you can say, I was here, I gave it my all, I made it count.